I felt a little bit sorry for Fabio Wardley again, because like I say, you think to yourself, there was no real, for Fabio, there wasn't any sort of like memory recall.
Wardley showed his limitations and his lack of pedigree, and he was very crude with that right hand over the right hand attack, but he showed so much heart and guts and desire. He just kept going for it. He was never going to quit, was he? He was never going to turn around and fold or take a knee and quit in there.
It was causing me a lot of trouble. It took me a lot of rounds to kind of figure out on work and time.
My opinion, I honestly think Fabio Wardley should stop boxing, because from where he started here to where he's got through there, he's better than most people. He's better than most boxers. But I don't think he can go back to the drawing board and learn enough now to forward his career, because he has sustained a lot of damage. He's put himself in the position, do you understand, by getting damaged in fights and having hard.
I genuinely think he took way too much punishment, and that's. I mean, that was so severe. If I were him, I'd never.
He has got a heart as big as a bucket, and some of the punches he took last night, he may not come back from, because he was taking right hands, he was eating them so flush. It was quite brutal to watch at times. I've actually felt sorry for him.
I mean, this got to a point where Fabio is stumbling around. He's not even aware of his surroundings. It doesn't look like. The doctors are checking on him round after round. And, you know, I said Daniel had big stones to get off the canvas. Fabio Wardley's got a chin of iron, because he ate some absolute nukes. Shots that put Anthony Joshua on the floor from Daniel Dubois, and probably would have put a lesser man in the hospital that night. I mean, I'm sure Fabio's in the hospital now, but stretcher.
I was looking to get up, but Daniel Dubois, when he went down this time, drawing on the experience that he had, he went down for a couple of seconds, looked at referee, then he got straight back up again. So that's a tick on his part. I felt a little bit sorry for Fabio Wardley again, because like I say, you think to yourself, there was no real...
A slight difference, fighting a world champion, a legitimate world champion for a title, and beating a world champion who's already a world champion. And Fabio Wardley hasn't beat a current world champion to be the champion, has he? Josie Park on
the rematch, but I don't think he should fight. I genuinely don't think he should take that rematch. I think that's too dangerous. I genuinely think he took way too much punishment, and that's. I mean, that was so severe. If I were him, I'd never fight again.
Like every boxer on the card will be tested, and I'm sure they're going to test him a bit more, because that would be the natural reaction. I'm sure of that, and he knows that better than anybody. But every boxer will be tested. It's a high-profile card, and the border control will be all over it. It's not just VADA.
The boxing world is absolutely destroying Fabio Wardley right now. And it's not just about losing to Daniel Dubois. It's about what he said after getting dominated for 12 brutal rounds.
God forbid that happens. And this guy's doing his fan as I'm getting. What I'm saying is that they now need to talk about legal action outside of boxing to say, if you take this, you are legally going to be prosecuted because you could kill.
Boxing pros are calling Wardley's post-fight allegations straight up embarrassing. Wade Plemons didn't hold back, saying Wardley was stumbling around the ring, losing his balance, and eating clean shots that completely shifted the fight.
Said it, don't blink, it's going to be the most amazing few rounds. It was much better than that. It was just a phenomenal fight, phenomenal to watch, to witness and see these two guys, what they did bearing their soul and getting off, and Daniel getting off the floor and the canvas and coming back how he did. It swung both ways to fight, and it was just a...
Here's what's really wild though. Carl Froch just delivered the most brutal assessment yet. He said Wardley abandoned basic boxing skills and fought like an amateur, swinging wildly from out of range against a world-class heavyweight.
They could ever question this young man again. Yeah? All that quitting nonsense, nobody will ever question him again.
Two-time heavyweight champion of the world under you.
It sounds good, doesn't it?
But the harshest criticism, Dominic Ingle thinks Wardley might have hit his ceiling. He's questioning whether the sustained damage from tough fights has caught up with him, and if he can even compete at elite level anymore.
We were in there with a very dangerous fighter in the name of Fabio Wardley. He should be proud of himself.
Barry McGuigan went even further. He's warning Wardley not to take any rematch because the punishment he absorbed was excessive. McGuigan thinks continuing could be dangerous for his health and career.
Fight, I think the worst thing that happened was that knockdown in the first round. After that, Wardley was just looking for that right hand. No jabs, no defense, no left hook. Sorry, meat and chicken. You know what I mean? But it was a hell of a fight. He showed the heart of a champion, and I think there should be a rematch.
Now here's where it gets interesting. Frank Warren made it crystal clear that both fighters were subject to strict testing, shutting down any room for speculation about the allegations Wardley's been making.
Boxing, you don't jab, nothing, looking for power shots. It's like he didn't train. He was busy commentating. Little bastard. He was supposed to fucking train in the gym. How many jabs did Fabio chuck? Last jab, he didn't chuck no jabs. He didn't do anything with his...
Johnny Nelson delivered the kill shot, though. He said performance-enhancing substances don't create boxing skill or technical ability. Fights are won by timing, discipline, and execution, not shortcuts. And throwing accusations without evidence only damages your own reputation.
Daniel recovered well. He's learned. You can learn from his knockdowns before. He learned a lot. You know what I mean? So, yeah, he done well.
The technical breakdown is even worse for Wardley. Experts are saying Daniel Dubois started strong with disciplined jab work, but Wardley had no plan B when his power shots weren't landing.
It's one of the best fights I've ever seen. One of the best fights. Fair play to Fabio Wardley. What a hard man he is. He didn't want to quit. His corner didn't pull him out. And Daniel Dubois kept his composure. He kept his composure, stuck to the plan. He started to get a bit tired himself. He realised that Wardley has still got something in the tank. He kept pulling it out of the bag. He looked dead on his feet. But what a fight.
Don Charles tried defending Wardley's heart and commitment, but even Derek Chisora called his performance technically lacking and one-dimensional. The consensus is brutal. Wardley relied too heavily on power without setting up his shots properly.
Just to wake up, stay in reality, it's not slip, I gotta dig deep.
But here's what everyone's praising. Multiple experts called this one of the best heavyweight wars they've ever witnessed. David Hay said he could watch it multiple times because of the pure entertainment value and non-stop action.
For Old Demons when he got dropped, I think he started to think Old Demons when he started to think his things weren't working. But you know what was giving Daniel confidence? He kept landing a jab. Every time Wardley threw a right hand, Dubois would stick a jab and it would touch his target. That day was giving Dubois hope that, okay, then I can stand in front of my target and I can land with a jab. And he knew he was softening up Wardley with a jab as the...
Daniel Dubois himself reflected on pulling through after a tough start, crediting his corner for keeping him focused. Sam Jones was shocked by the momentum swings, but praised Dubois for recovering and breaking Wardley down with disciplined jab work.
I've seen a heavyweight fight that captivating, that entertaining, round after round, backwards and forwards. The heart on these guys, the balls, the bravery. That's what you want to pay. That's what you want to... We hope every time we tune in for a heavyweight championship, you're getting that type of energy. They both gave everything they had. I could watch that 10 times.
So there you have it. Wardley lost a war, made allegations that the entire boxing community rejected, and now faces serious questions about his future at elite level. This isn't just about one fight. It's about how you handle defeat and whether you can learn from it or make excuses. What do you think is Wardley done at world level, or can he bounce back from this brutal reality check? Drop your thoughts below, smash that like button if this breakdown opened your eyes, and subscribe because heavyweight drama never stops.
What a warrior he is, and came through that test. Coming off the back of a loss, I was a bit nervy to start off with and a bit all over the place, but I pulled it together and got the victory.
This fight was very hard for two guys, but I think for the crowd was also a nice fight. Unbelievable, I like it.
Was you surprised about the hard?
I was surprised, but can you give a good performance? He was the first and then the 4 rounds, I don't know, he was one down.
It wasn't the most skilled heavyweight fight I've ever seen, but it was just what the fans wanted to see. The fans wanted that, that was blood and guts, but God knows.